This is a shocking story of a young lion's fight for survival against the evils of human cruelty. How long can this lion endure, and what harrowing challenges will he face along the way? The trials he undergoes will leave you shocked and deeply moved. Driven by a youthful hunger and the thrill of the hunt, a young lion chasing a deer through the tall grass. He was still learning the ways of the predator, but in his eagerness, he didn't see the danger lurking beneath the tall blades. A loud snap echoed through the air. The lion had stepped into a poacher's snare. The metal wire tightened around his neck. Panic set in as the lion tried to free himself. He pulled and twisted, but the snare only got tighter. A snare around the lion's neck changed everything. It dug into his skin, causing a deep, painful wound. Every move hurt terribly. Once strong and fast, the lion now walked slowly, wincing with each step. His mighty roar turned into a weak whimper because of the constant pain. Hunting, which used to be easy, became impossible. When he tried to run after prey, the pain flared up, and his legs felt too weak to carry him. They trembled after just a short distance. The lion watched helplessly as animals he once could easily catch walked right past him. The brave predator had become helpless, unable to feed himself, all because of the cruel wire trap cutting into his neck, leaving him in constant, terrible pain. But something amazing happened. The lion's pride noticed his suffering. In a touching display of compassion, they began to bring him food. Every day, members of his family would hunt and share their catch with the injured lion. This act of kindness kept him alive, but for how long? As time passed, the lion grew in size with age, but his condition worsened. The snare, now buried deep in his neck, made it difficult to swallow food. Starvation became a real threat. This once majestic animal was now a shadow of his former self, his life hanging by a thread. His ribs showed through his skin, and his eyes had lost their spark. It seemed that despite his pride's efforts, the lion was slowly dying. The infection spread, and his strength continued to fade. Would this be the end of this young lion? Keep watching, because soon something unexpected and shocking happens. While on safari, some tourists spotted the young injured lion and immediately informed the park rangers. The rangers quickly arrived at the location, but by the time they got there, the lion had vanished. The rangers knew they had to act fast, but finding one lion in Mikumi National Park was a huge challenge. The park covers 1,200 square miles, a vast expanse of land. It was like searching for a needle in a giant grassy haystack. Not willing to give up, the rangers divided into teams. Each group took a different area of the park, determined to find the hurt lion. They set out on their mission, knowing every minute counted. The race was on to locate the injured lion before it was too late. Days turned into nights, and still, there was no sign of the young lion. The rangers continued their search tirelessly, working in shifts to cover as much ground as possible. They set up cameras, hoping to catch even a fleeting glimpse, but their attempts yielded nothing. Determined not to give up, the rangers visited each lion pride in the park, hoping to find the injured young lion among them. They observed the prides from a distance, looking for any sign of the lion's distinctive injury. However, the young lion was nowhere to be found. Not with any pride they checked. The rangers were growing increasingly worried. Where could the lion have gone after that last sighting? One evening, a young ranger approached one of his more experienced colleagues. His face was etched with concern. "Do you think the lion has died from hunger and pain?" he asked quietly. The older ranger sighed and said, "Sometimes, not all stories have happy endings. We might have to face the sad truth." A heavy silence fell over them. The thought that the lion might have died filled them with fear and sadness. They knew they had to keep searching, but hope was fading with each passing day. Just when all hope seemed lost, a group of park rangers noticed something unusual. In the distance, they spotted a lone lion lying motionless, appearing almost as if he were sleeping. Other rangers and veterinarians soon arrived at the spot, bringing the necessary equipment. They prepared a tranquilizer dart, aiming carefully. With the lion so weak and still, it didn't take much effort to tranquilize him. The sight that greeted them was horrifying. The snare had cut so deeply into the lion's neck that skin had grown around it. Carefully, they began to cut away the wire. Every movement was delicate. One wrong cut could end the lion's life instantly. After what seemed like hours, they finally removed the snare. The wound it left behind was deep and infected. The lion's condition was so severe that no one was sure if he would survive. The rangers kept a close eye on the lion from a distance, observing his every movement. Slowly, the lion began to eat and walk again. Each small step forward brought a sense of relief and hope to the rangers. They watched as his strength gradually returned, reassured that the worst was behind him. Now, it seemed the lion was truly on the path to recovery. Thousands of animals die each year in poachers' traps, even those not targeted by poachers. Poaching is a cruel act by humans that must be stopped. Wildlife rangers work hard to protect animals from poaching, often risking their lives. They are the heroes of the wild. Let's support their mission and help ensure that animals can live safely and freely.